Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, a gigantic house cat, a mistreated former hero, Isekai antics, manga releases, and a lack of crunchies. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIREKN and guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. And if you are watching on iTunes, remember to like, share, subscribe, click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes, and more importantly, check us out and remember to subscribe at our website at www.spiraken.com and leave a note on Apple Podcasts. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated me that I'm reviewing a pretty, well, seems very different manga from what we're used to, but let's get to it. So the manga that we're going to be talking about today is one that's pretty unique, that was written by that one that only Hiro Kashiwaba, and is published by Shogakukan and released in the US by Seven Seas Entertainment. It was released by Yawarake Spirit magazine, and the original run was 2021 to 2023, with a total of 5 volumes, which are complete. We currently only have the first volume. However, I will say that we're getting volume 2 in May of this year, so we got a little bit of time before everything goes on. And this is a fantasy isekai slice of life story that is a seinen, and its original title was Isekai Neko to Fukigen na Majo, or it is known in English simply as A Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch. And this is a unique isekai story about a witch who lives in the middle of the quote-unquote forbidden forest of, well, it is a forbidden forest in the kingdom of Guilford, which no one goes to, and apparently there's an evil witch that lives in a huge tree in the middle of the forest. And the only companion she has is, well, let's get to it. It is a giant cat. Yes, a gigantic cat that she has no idea what to do with, because this witch, who is formerly known as the Great Sorceress Janine, summoned a cat and does not know what to do with it, because it is a just giant house cat that is living in her house. And this cat, well, he's a cat. He is a big cat that is confused with the fact that he has come to this world and humans are about the size of mice and they don't give him crunchies because he wants his crunchies or his dry food, and he's not getting that. So he's a little upset about that, but the lady who summoned him is pretty nice. Like I said, her name is Janine. And she's confused at the fact that she summoned this giant creature that's being very uppity, that doesn't eat the same thing that her last summoned creature ate, which is like Eye of Newt and Dragon Tail. And like I said, he's a cat. He doesn't eat that. He eats crunchies and fish and other stuff, but nothing else. And she's like, you're just a spoiled, useless brat that doesn't do anything, because she summoned this creature to help her out. And this cat can't fly, can't turn invisible, can't do spells, can't talk, just seems to lay about her house. And what happened was that he got hit by a car and isekai'd into this world. But summoned by her for a specific reason. Well, it's kind of hard to explain, but let's actually get into who Janine is anyway. And the thing with Janine is that Janine at one point was the premier sorceress. She was the strongest and most powerful witch there was, and she helped the hero, who was a hero from another world, to save the day and save the world. And they were really close, like extremely close. Like originally he wanted to just live in the woods with her. He loved her. And what happened was she ends up defeating the big evil demon king. And what they do is they immediately seal her powers. And they say, you know what? You're a horrible witch. You're super powerful. We're going to get rid of you. And she's like, well, let me talk to the hero. The hero will fix things. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. The hero is actually engaged to the princess. So he's going to be the new king. And you're just a horrible person. So go to the woods and die there. And she's all alone. And this cat is now her only companion. The thing is, he is literally just a cat. But he's a good cat. He thinks the best things. And he likes little things like when she pats his head. And the reason for that is that his friends, there's a lot going on with him, but I don't want to spoil too much. But the other thing is, like I said, she saved the world, and there are statues devoted to the sorceress Janine, who has saved the day. And then when she walks by, they're like, "Oh, there's a witch there. Ignore the witch. She's evil," not realizing the person they're praising is that girl. That girl is this witch, this old lady, and it's kind of sad. And so she ends up just kind of existing. And like I said, she has a giant cat living in her house who kind of can fit because, as those of you who own cats know, cats are liquid. They can squeeze through little spots. And he is just an adorable giant cat who she doesn't like because he broke her bed, he causes problems, but he's there for her to make her feel better. Like when she's having a nightmare, he snuggles up next to her, he purrs, and at one point she ends up getting accosted by some people who said, "Oh, we're going to burn her house down because she's a horrible person." And we discover this cat, whose former name was Toriko's origin. He was a cat that was taken care of by an old lady who couldn't have cats before because her husband was sick and allergic to cats. And she ended up getting a cat, loved the cat, and then she died. And the people, the humans, took her away, and they said, "Oh, that can't possibly be her cat because she's allergic to cats," or the husband was allergic to cats. But that was her cat. And he loved his human, and he wanted to take care of her. And so he figured out, after his witch, his new human, is being bothered, that he was made to be big so he could protect her. So he could not be separated from his human. And then Jean, the witch, realizes, this is why I have a giant cat. He will protect me. And that is what the cat does. The cat swats them all around while purring and being awesome. It's a great moment when they finally get together and she's like, "Great summoned creature, you will protect me from this." And then he immediately just beats the hell out of the bad guys who are trying to take her away because they're judging her. And just seeing the cat, who's now named Mew, whack them across like a cat whacking a ball. And this is the story of Mew. And that's what it's about. And further on, apparently more is going to go on. There's only 5 volumes of this unique isekai, but that's what it is. And to be honest, when I first read about this, I was like, okay, this seems like a cool concept. But then getting into it, it was a endearing story about a cat who's trying to find his person, and a woman who's been displaced because people mistreat her and are scared of her, and they treat her horrible. And this is her just trying to find a friend, someone to care about. And it's these two coming together. Unfortunately, only 1 volume has been released. I'm waiting to see what volume 2 is going to be, but it is well done. And, well, art style is adorable. I love just some of the little things with Mew, the cat. And just imagine having a giant cat. How awesome and horrible would that be? I mean, the cat would scratch walls, leave fur everywhere, not do what you say, like say, "Get up, do this, or do that." And then, get mad about it. And also, like I said, there are moments of just him destroying the house just because he's a cat. Or her thinking about the fact that her home, why it's important to her, is because of the fact that she had this relationship with the hero who's now the king. And when he died, she was horrified. And she knew him the best, but no one really let her be with him. And there's evidence that maybe he reached out to her, but she was so shocked and hurt because they took away her powers. They sealed her powers so she couldn't do anything. So that she didn't want to see him because she thought he ordered it. And it might be a misunderstanding. If you're a fan of Frieren, you're really going to like this. If you're a fan of cats, you're going to love this. If you don't like either of those things, you're not going to like this series at all. It's very introspective and different. But for me personally, I have to give this our second highest rating of borrow from a friend and don't return unless offered Pocky. It's a really good story. It is a lot of fun. It's a shame that there's only 5 volumes about it, and that's why I kind of got knocked points, because there are only 5 volumes, and more importantly than that, it's going to take a long time to get them out because it has not been released anywhere else. We're only getting 5, so we'll see if the story is as good as it goes. I will definitely reach out and tell you if this is worth going on to further, or if it's just that first volume was great. And if you've read this, let me know. You can email me personally at zan@spiraken.com and let me know your thoughts on if you enjoyed Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch, or if you hated it, or thought it was lazy or boring. Let me know. You can email me at zan@spiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the random question of the day, which is a pretty unique one. And that's going to be, would you summon a giant cat if you could? I mean, the plus side, it's a giant fuzzy cat that's going to do everything for you. On the bad side, it's probably going to scratch you, scratch the post, eat things, maybe think you're a toy and destroy you. If you watch the Sandman final episode where they talk about the dreaming of cats, that's kind of horrifying seeing cats eat people. So, yeah, it's kind of 50-50. I mean, if it's some creature that protect you, yeah, but if it's going to eat you, not really. That's my thoughts. But what do you think? Let me know. Email me, zan@spiraken.com. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases of the week. And we've got some fun ones this week. So starting off with, well, the first one is going to be Oshi no Ko, Volume 5. Yes, the fifth in this unique and insane series about a boy who's been reincarnated trying to get revenge on his, well, let's not spoil that. But pretty cool. So from here, we have 2.5 Dimensional Seduction Volume 9, Akko and Bambi Volume 1, Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's Conjuration Volume 3, the light novel, A Tale of Curse and Blessings, Assorted Entanglements Volume 4, B-Strings, don't know what this is about, but it looks pretty intriguing. It's, apparently I can't find it, so I'm going to put this on the Wheel of Manga eventually, but it looks intriguing. Then we have Black Knight Parade, Volume 2. Black Summoner, Volume 1, the light novel. Bloodblade, Volume 1. A Business Proposal, Volume 4. Cheerful Amnesia, Volume 2. Chojin X, Volume 5. The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 9. Date Alive, Volume 11, the light novel. Days with My Stepsister, Volume 2, the light novel. Doomsday with My Dog, Volume 4. Eden Zero, Volume 27. Elden Rings, The Road to the Erd Tree, Volume 2. Failure Frame, I Became the Strongest and Annihilated Everyone with Low-Level Spells, light novel, Volume 9. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Volume 10. Goblin Slayer Side Story 2, Daikatana, Volume 6, the manga. The Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody, Volume 9, the light novel. Heartgear, Volume 3. Hollow X Meeting, Volume 1. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about this one. The Horror Collector, Volume 2, The Cursed Game of Tag. I Cannot Reach You, Volume 7. I May Be a Guild Receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time, Volume 2, the manga. I Think I Turned My Childhood Friend into a Girl, Volume 5. I Think Our Son is Gay, Volume 5. If the Villainess and Villain Met and Fell in Love, Volumes 1 of the manga and Volume 2 of the light novel. In Another World with My Smartphone, Volume 11, the manga. Inspector, Volume 19. Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Familia Chronicle, Volume Freya, Volume 3. Kaiju Girl Carmelise, Volume 7. The Kept Man of the Princess Knight, Volume 1. A Kingdom of Quartz, Volume 1. Kowloon Generic Romance, Volume 6. Liar Liar, Volume 3. Magical Girl Raising Project, Volume 17, the light novel, Episode S. Then we have Midaka Kuroiwa is Impervious to My Charm, Volume 5. Then we have Mint Chocolate, Volume 10. Ms. Savage Fang, Volume 1. The strongest mercenary in history is reincarnated as an unstoppable noblewoman. Mission Yozakura Family, Volume 9. Murcielago, Volume 23. My Happy Marriage, Volume 6, the light novel. My Love Sick Life as a 90s Otaku, Volume 2. My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong as I Expected at Comic, Volume 20. No Matter How I Look at It, It's Your Guys' Fault, I'm Not Popular, Volume 22. Not Sue Wicked Stepmom, Volume 3. Ogami Can't Keep It In, Volume 3. The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, Volume 1, light novel. Overlord, Volume 18. Phantom Thief Red, Volume 2, The Junior High Detective. Reborn to Master the Blade, From King Hero to Extraordinary Squire, Volume 2, the light novel. Reincarnated into a game as the hero's friend, Running the Kingdom Behind the Scenes, Volume 1. This is the manga. Rent a Girlfriend, Volume 23. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, Volume 1, finally been released. And like I said, this one's, yeah. The Star Seekers, Volume 2. A Stepmother's Marchen, Volume 3. Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, Volume 5, the light novel. The Silver Sugar Master and the Purple Promise. Taking Care of God, the manga. Tales of the Kingdom, Volume 4. Trapped in a Dating Sim, in the world of otome games is tough for mobs, light novel, Volume 11. Tsubaka Cho, Lonely Planet, Volume 6. Twin Star Exorcist, Volume 30. Uncle from Another World, Volume 9. The Unholy Blood, Volume 1. The Unimpeded Overlords Have Joined the Party, Volume 1. The Vexations of a Shut-In Princess, or Vampire Princess, Volume 6. Villains Are Destined to Die, Volume 6. The Villainess Stands the Heroes, Playing the Antagonist to Support Her Faves, Volume 3. A lot of light novels this week. The Villainess Turns the Hourglass, Volume 2. Wand Dance, Volume 8. The Way of the House Husband, Volume 11. Whomever Steals This Book, Volume 1. The World After the Fall, Volume 5. Yokai Cats, Volume 7. Yokohama Kadaishi Kiko, Deluxe Edition 4. This is the final volume of the series. You Are My Regret, Volume 1. And then last and certainly not least, we have Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, Volume 13. Officially, we're now getting into some more interesting territory and possibly a cure for this disease. But we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. But this is the list for what was released this week. There was tons of stuff that came out. Which are you most excited about? Which are you not? Let me know. Email me personally at Zan, that's xan@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Personally, my thoughts, my top 5 for this week are going to be Yokohama Kadaishi Kiko, the Deluxe Edition, Volume 4. Whoever Steals This Book, Volume 1. Reincarnated into a game as the hero's friend, Running in this Kingdom Behind the Scenes, Volume 1. Miss Savage Fang, Volume 1. And then last, Hollow Meeting, Volume 1. A lot of new stuff for this week that seem unique. Whoever Steals This Book seems like a cool mystery story. The Isekai where it's the guy running behind the scenes seems like a better version of Eminence of Shadows. We're going to have to wait and see on that. And the last time, Yokohama Kadaishi. Well, it is Yokohama Kadaishi, an amazing story about watching the world end in a more relaxed way. But these are my top 3. Let me know what yours are. Email me at zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. And before we go any further, thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you. Every email I get, every comment I get, every subscription, every new watch gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast. I love doing this, and I'm going to keep doing this as long as I can, and I'm going to work as hard as I can. And, you give me the motivation to keep going. So thank you so much. Check us out. Remember to like, share, subscribe. We're going to get to the part that you've all been waiting for in a moment. But just some quick news. My computer died. I actually had to rebuild it. So if the way the webcam looks is a little different, it's because all of my settings, everything was destroyed and stopped, and I had to restart it from scratch. So my computer has been essentially rebuilt. I had to change the hard drive on it, so the graphics are a little weird. Apologies if that is the case, if it looks a little different, but I'm getting used to it, and I think it's actually looking a little better. But I digress. So, enough of that. Let's actually get to the part that you have all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the most popular part of this podcast. Surprisingly, the part which all of you have been waiting for. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one. That only. The Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, accept no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So what we're going to do is spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, the manga that's in that spot is what I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 546. Can you believe it? 546 episodes of this awesome podcast. So let's spin and see what we're going to review in the next episode, shall we? I'm kind of excited to see what we're going to get. Oh! Okay. So, the one I was kind of worried about, because this one technically is not for kids, but yeah. So, the next volume I'm going to be talking about is a manga titled My Boss is a Giant. He Manages My Every Need. This is one that's written by Steamship, so you can guess this is going to be kind of a NSFW episode next time. So yeah, so we're going to be doing an unsafe for work episode, but digress. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. I will see you later.